What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we will be discussing the Sixers trade deadline acquisition, everything that went down between the Heat, the Raptors, and the Sixers, and lastly, the Sixers' chance to get to the NBA Finals. But before we get into all that, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and smash the like button for your boy. Also, follow your boy on Twitter. That's where we talk Philly sports behind the YouTube scenes. With all that out the way, let's jump into today's topic. And we're going to start on George Hill, the guy that the Sixers came out of the March 25th trade deadline with. We all know he's bounced around the league, the Spurs, the Pacers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and now OK City Thunder. I mean, he's what you called a solid guy to come off the bench. He's averaging 12 points, 3.1 assists, 2 rebounds a game, shooting 50% and 38.6% from 3, which is crucial. Now, he only played 14 games, and he is coming to the Sixers with something wrong with his thumb. But at the end of the day, he will be right in the amount of time we need him to be right, so we can use him and gain some type of chemistry with the starting lineup. And it's going to be interesting to see what Doc Rivers does. Again, we talk about all these lineups we throw out. We get on Doc Rivers a little bit about the all-bench lineup. That won't happen during playoffs. Rotations get cut from 12, 13 players playing to 9-man rotation, sometimes an 8-man rotation. So you're always going to have a starter on the bench, and I'm going to be curious to see how he staggers these guys' minutes. Now, George Hill, is he 100% a bench piece to play alongside of Shake Milton and Dwight Howard? The limited time he'll get when it comes to the playoffs and or big games? Or do we bump a guy like Seth Curry to the bench to ensure more three-point shooting? Even though George Hill's just shooting 38.6%, it's probably going to go down a little. He only played 14 games. But Seth Curry's a much better three-point shooter, so maybe we want some scoring on the bench. Regardless if it's us moving Seth Curry to the bench to play with Shake Milton or George Hill and Shake Milton, it's a guy on the bench who's been around, a veteran, reliable, and it can ensure the consistency of the bench, because some nights our bench is amazing and some nights they go on these long dry spells where we have a 15-point lead like the Golden State Warriors game, and it drops to a 4-point deficit, mainly because of the bench. Mike Scott can't get a bucket. Shake Milton, although he had like 14 points or 15 points, he shot the ball a lot and was missing. Furkan is up and down. So I like George Hill or Seth Curry coming off the bench to try to get some more consistency with the bench. And again, in the playoffs, you will have the bench, but it won't be that full bench lineup. Now, the Sixers came into this deadline with a couple things on our mind. I thought we were either going to go out and get Kyle Lowry, or we were going to make at least one, maybe two splashes. Now, this is a little splash. George Hill was a guy I put in a community post. If you look here, that's the community post. We saw the percentages. Kyle Lowry was the biggest one, but some people talked about George Hill. We had Norman Powell on it. We had Lonzo Ball, who was an option, who stayed in New Orleans. We heard him possibly going to Chicago, possibly going a couple places. And some other teams did some good stuff we'll probably talk about at the end. But George Hill is a solid player. We talked about that. I did want to stretch 4 because how big we are, and we want to play that defense. But again, Ben Simmons is a guy who's not going to shoot. He's going to get his value on defense in transition, in the dunker spot, and, facilitate. And so you want that stretch 4 to come in and take Tobias minutes, takes Ben Simmons minutes when they're tired. And we can't allow it to be Mike Scott. He's the biggest shooting guy we got, and he just can't shoot no more. The dude is ice cold. How is Mike Scott still on this team? Anyways, I believe George Hill's going to add value to this team, and I think Daryl Morey, although he wanted Kyle Lowry, didn't want to overpay. Let's get to that situation. We both know that the Raptors were hearing ideas or deals from the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers, and at first they wanted Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, 2 first-round picks, and I was like, huh? No way, Jose. Again, Kyle Lowry playing pretty good, averaging like 18 points per game, but the Raptors are not winning. You're not winning. He's 35 years old. Even though he's a great player to your city, to your organization, he's going to walk next year. I thought the leverage definitely swayed to Daryl Morey and the Sixers, but I guess it didn't. Now, maybe he wanted to just get the ultimate deal or ride out with Kyle Lowry because they love each other so much. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Kyle Lowry's going to end the season a Toronto Raptor, and he's going to walk, and you're not going to get no compensation for Kyle Lowry. Now, I understand you wanted Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey, and I think you wanted Duncan Robinson and something else, a package deal with them, and we both didn't want to give it to you. That goes to show that he wasn't worth what you were asking for if both teams who were desperately or heavily, not desperately, heavily interested in him decided that they didn't want him. Again, Daryl Morey, a guy who does like to make things happen, and I think he went out and got George Hill just in case the Lowry deal fell through because I knew it was going to come down to the last seconds. 3, 2, 1, Morey on the shot at the buzzer, and it didn't work. A lot of people were mad that we didn't get him, and I didn't want to overpay. I didn't want to give too much up for the simple fact whoever got Lowry was going to have to extend him for a couple years. I think he wanted $25 million a year. There was a lot of things that went around that situation. But anyways, 3 o'clock comes, Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers looking to get Kyle Lowry, and nothing is said. And boom, Woj bomb drops, and the Miami Heat acquire Victor Oladipo from the Houston Rockets. And I'm like, huh? For what? Later, it comes out that they only gave up Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley, and a draft pick for Victor Oladipo, a guy who, when is healthy, is a baller when is healthy. Again, people were mad at Daryl Morey for not going to get Victor Oladipo then if that's all it took. But you gotta remember, Houston still has a sour taste in their mouth when it comes to the like of Daryl Morey, who kind of left saying that he doesn't want to be in basketball operations no more. I want to take time off. Then he said, psych, I want to go to Philadelphia. So I think they're going to be a little ill will to Daryl Morey when it comes to that. So maybe he did offer them something and they just were like, nope, we not messing with you. I don't know. However, I think standing our ground with the Kyle Lowry trade was good. I think the real losers in this trade deadline are the Toronto Raptors, who will keep Kyle Lowry for a couple more months. They can take a longer goodbye, but he's going to walk for nothing. I mean, he pretty much said his goodbyes the last game he played. They got the dub. It was nice. It was Kyle Lowry's birthday today, and he's going to have to remain a Raptor and pretty much try to sign with a team after the season. Now, maybe Philly goes ahead, frees up some money because we will have some money this offseason and make a move for Kyle Lowry where we don't have to give up any pieces. Maybe we go another way. I think people are really forgetting what the Sixers did with the Al Horford contract and certain things. Danny Green is going to be a 15-year rental. $15 million rental. So we're going to have money to make moves. Now, I know we're talking about let's get a championship this year, and there are some people who think we can still do it. There's some people like, no, we needed to make a big move. I don't think so. Here's the story. We're first in the East, 31-13. The Nets are on our heels. KD hasn't played. That is our biggest competition. I feel like the Sixers can beat the Celtics, can beat the Bucks, can beat all these teams that are just fighting around. The Knicks, the Miami Heat. Now, even though the Miami Heat got pretty good and they're going to be better when they're healthy because they've been battling through COVID and injuries themselves, I think the East is on lock when it comes to the Sixers and the Nets. It's going to be one of them two teams. Now, I'm not willing to say the Nets are going to be beatable, but I'm telling you, if there's anybody who can give them a run for their money, it is going to be the Sixers. Just the way we match up with them on defense, the fact that we got a 7-foot monster, we got the things that can kind of counteract their scoring. They're going to score on us. But if there's any team that is built to defend them, it's us. And if there's one team that they're just not equipped to deal with, it's the Sixers because of our height and just our toughness down low and Joel Embiid. So I think that's going to be a nice series. And here's the thing. Joel Embiid playing at an MVP level, we need him to come back that same way. Ben Simmons playing better after the trade deadline, we need him to continue that same way. Tobias Harris having his best season since playing with Doc and LA Clippers, we need that to be the same thing. We need the bench to be more consistent. That's why we got George Hill. And we need our shooters to make their shots, and that's why we need to get chemistry with Danny Green and Seth Curry and start getting this roster to play together and get in their spots and hit their shots. Now, a 7-game series, we're going to have some games where we don't make our shots, but I believe this team is equipped to battle for a championship. I'm not saying go out there and win it right away, but for you to look at this team and see that the coaching upgrade, Joel Embiid stepping his game up, and everybody else falling into place doesn't show that this team is equipped to make a run, you're crazy. They are. They're not the greatest team ever, but they are equipped to make a run. Our home record is just impeccable. Since Joel Embiid's been out, we only lost 1 game. You got to give us credit for that. Joel Embiid was the MVP before he got injured. Normally, you're going to be in a bad shape. You're going to be in bad shape. Even when AD went out, LeBron wasn't carrying him right away. Now LeBron and AD's out, and they're just horrible, the Lakers are. But LeBron lost to the Wizards. He lost to, I think, OK City Thunder. I don't know exactly, but he lost a couple games. He couldn't do it himself, and the Sixers are doing it through coaching and through next man up mentality, Philadelphia stuff, underdog stuff. So for us to be counted out constantly is baffling to me by the opposing teams' fans, and even our fans still think that we're not good enough to win. I think we are. Maybe not to run away with it. We don't got a super team, but we got guys who click. Like Dwight Howard is underrated with his energy in the minutes we use him in. A lot of people we use in certain packages and certain situations that go overlooked. Matisse Thybulle's defense. I mean, with the amount of minutes he gets, he's top like 10 in the league with people who play 30 plus minutes. He's top 5 for people who play 30 plus minutes. He's playing 20 minutes doing it. It's incredible. I think this team has something to compete. I'm not saying, yep, we're automatically, we're the Golden State Warriors, we're the Chicago Bulls. No, but we got players on this team who fit together and we can compete. So that's my take on it. Whether we do compete and we lose a hard-fought Eastern Conference Finals or NBA Finals, you got the core together. Embiid got 3 more great years and maybe a couple more good years, barring any crazy injuries. Knock on fake wood. Big men like that get injured big time and they go way down. So barring any injuries, not going to fake wood. This offseason we'll have money to make a Kyle Lowry move or a big move in free agency. So I think this is the start of a championship run, but I'm looking to get something really good going here. So that's all my thoughts. Could have been better, could have been worse. I like what we're building little by little by little. I think this team's going to be good this year to compete and better in the near future. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section when it comes to the Miami Heat, the Toronto Raptors, George Hill, your opinion on whether the Sixers trade deadline acquisition or today was successful or a failure. Let me know all your thoughts when it comes to the NBA thing too, because Chicago Bulls, there were some crazy trades out there. The Celtics just trading anybody just to be like, hey guys, don't forget about us. A lot of funny moves. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section. You know what time it is. Philly Unite. Let's get it. We out.